So I've always liked when other YouTubers, do a quick bookshelf tour. My bookshelf kind of grew based on the inspiration of seeing other people's. I think what I have at no other bookshelf. Welcome back to the Muscle Code YouTube channel. This video is, I'm probably more excited to do this one than any of them so far because his books are so fun. So this will be top 5 Discworld novels by Terry Pratchett, and I tried to choose one book from every sub-story. So there'll be one with Death, there'll be one with the City Watch, one with Rincewind, Industrial Revolution. So I tried to kind of like get one from each one. There'll be no witches, so that's the only sub-story that I haven't read. I haven't read any of the witches. I'm kind of saving it for the end, so at least I have something there because I'm kind of flying through all the Discworld novels. I've read more than half. My pace has slowed down a little bit, so I figured now's a good time to get this top 5 done because I won't be reading that many more this year, so I figure it's a perfect time to do it. And we'll jump right into it with number 5, Sorcery. Now, each Pratchett book, each Discworld book revolves around a topic, and Pratchett has fun. He kind of gathers his thoughts on that topic, whether it be railroads, whether it be movies, whether it be music, and he has fun and he goes after it with that topic in that book. With Sorcery, it's not a fan favorite, but I thought it was really cool because it's the kind of like his take on really true wizard fighting. And I like the way, the sorcerer is, it's a kind of like a wizard squared, and I like the way he did the actual, semi-battle scenes, and the way, the sorcery, the way he explained the sorcery, and it was his attempt to really nail down and to go all out with, fighting amongst wizards. And, he doesn't, a lot of some other fantasies, they would, if Terry Pratchett was another fantasy author, he would have wizard fighting in each book, but he kind of sticks to the topic at hand and says what he has to say and move on. So I just really like the fighting in this one. Rincewind's probably my favorite character, and the story goes that in the first few Discworld novels, Rincewind was so popular that the fans wanted to see him more. So Terry Pratchett, it's kind of an informal rumor that he came out with this book for the fans and did another Rincewind novel. So, and I'm one of the Rincewind fans, so it made me happy. So, number 5 on my list is Sorcery. Moving on to 4. This is a lot of people's number 1. It's number 4 on my list, Small Gods. The topic in Small Gods is religion, and it's like, everyone kind of calls it a masterpiece. And it is. It just like it really touches on religion in a really entertaining but also deep way. There's some like really beautiful scenes. It's also funny, and it didn't feel short, but it went by really fast. Like before you know it, you're at the end of it. I think I read it in like 2.5 days. So Small Gods is my number 4 best Discworld novel. And that is the god. He's like a little turtle, and it's just like the way I think this was Terry Pratchett's topic closest to heart. It really kind of shines through his beliefs on religion and faith, and how it it bubbles up from there. So a very strong number 4 on my list, Small Gods. Moving into number 3, in the same vein, this is a lot of people's number 1. It's actually, there's these special editions where Mort and Small Gods are sold together. So they're kind of both put on the same pedestal. But my number 3 Discworld novel is Mort. I liked it a little bit better than Small Gods because I like Death as a character. This book is one of a kind. It came early in the Discworld series. Discworld wouldn't be what it is today without Mort. This took it to a whole new level it really it was an imaginative take on the human condition, and dealing with everything we have to deal with, and it just shows it's a good representation of what Discworld's all about. The only issue I have with it is it was a little too short. It would I think it would have been better served to be a little longer. If it was a little longer, it would probably be not my number one. But it's death is just such it's a unique reading experience when you read about his character Death, and and funny at the same time. But there's a few beautiful parts in this too. So a very strong number 3 goes hand in hand with Small Gods as my number 3 Discworld novel of all time. Moving into number 2, Going Postal. Now, it might be a surprise to some, but if you look at Discworld to the screen, Going Postal was the most successful rendition to the screen. They did a Color of Magic miniseries, they did a Hogfather miniseries, but Going Postal was the most successful, I think the highest budget. So that's saying something. If the most successful Discworld book on the screen was Going Postal, so it's not that much of a stretch that it's my second ranked of all time. I read this during jury duty. So the week I had jury duty a few years ago, I read it during all the downtime, during all the waiting, during all the wasted time. And it just has a special place in my heart. I had fond memories from that week. Jesse got this edition for me this is the British edition. And it was just, I have, all my other books are in the updated, I guess, North American publishing edition, but this is one of the only ones I have in the British, so it was kind of special in that sense. And I like the relationship between the main character and his, the female, like the romantic relationship. He just gets it. It's not like most, romantic relationships, like, not to call out Brandon Sanderson, but not that they're corny, but like you can tell it's like, it's a written work that they're writing these romantic relationships. But in Discworld, specifically in Going Postal, with the couples and how the courting, and it really feels true to life. It really does. So the relationship between Moist von Lipwick and his love interest in this, I thought was like true to life and a real standout to this book. And the funny thing is, I remember reading, not to call Brandon Sanderson and get in a good light, this was Brandon Sanderson's favorite Discworld novel and one of his posts that I read a few years ago. So Going Postal, and it's just really, he had a field day with satiring the Postal Service and everything that goes along with that. So Going Postal is my number 2 Discworld novel of all time. And number 1, and it's a lot of people's number 1 too, is Guards. I think this is like the quintessential Discworld novel. Even the name, Guards. It's just like it's a perfect representation of what Discworld's all about. It had my favorite scene ever in any of the Discworld novels I've read over 20, and this the friendship of like the 3 or 4 guys who are in the city watch, is just heartwarming. And then there's just one part like near the end when they're about to like save the day, and they're like just in the nick of time, and like the way that came together was just hilarious and just perfect. And that scene, if you know what I'm talking about, is the reason it's my number 1. But even more than that, it's just, Lord Vetinari had a good part in it. Samuel Vimes was introduced, and just the camaraderie and the brotherhood of that small little group just really turned out perfect. And it's like kind of like taking the quintessential dragon fantasy story and just putting it in Ankh-Morpork with a Discworld spin, and it was just perfect. But the City Watch novels, as they go, the City Watch gets much bigger, with people, with members of every race, and it goes into, diversity and stuff like that. But I like how this one, it's quaint, and it's only like 3 or 4 members of the City Watch. And it was just, easy to follow, easy to understand. And it's hands down my #1 most favorite Discworld novel. That's all I have for today. This will officially end this year of In the Library. What to look forward to for the future is I have a few things that I'm planning. I just need to get more books under my belt to make the list more comprehensive. I have best Star Wars novel coming up, best Stephen King novel coming up. I have best sci-fi series, and I'm also going to do a George R.R. Martin short story top 5. So I'm looking forward to all those in the coming months. But thanks for, as always, thanks for stopping by, and hope to see you back. So I've always liked when other YouTubers, do a quick bookshelf tour. My bookshelf kind of grew based on